Hey, what's up, folks? This is Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance, the channel that always has your back and tells it like it is. Well, today's video is going to be all about the state of the current crypto market and why everything is so red, right? So I've had a lot of people reaching out to me lately saying, Jesse, it's red, or, can you update this prediction? Or, boy, that video didn't age well. I had my brother reach out and say, hey, what's going on with the market? When's it going to turn around, right? So I want to talk about that in today's video, exactly what's happening in the crypto market, why it's happening, what I think could come from it, and where this could possibly turn around. So I'm going to be dissecting all of that for you today. Hopefully we can come away from this video with some more answers rather than questions. All right? So as always, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you click the bell, you'll be made aware whenever I post time-sensitive content just like this. All right? And now let's get it going. So for those who don't know, Bitcoin currently accounts for roughly 46% of the entire crypto market. It's all Bitcoin. And the way it tears down the market is with all of the various pairs of coins that are paired with Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin goes down, it tears them all down with it. This is why all the alts always fall when Bitcoin goes down. So in that sense, the first thing I wanted to talk about today in the video is the chart. So let's look at the chart, all right? Now, the first and most important thing to talk about here are the moving averages. So for those who don't know, the red line is the 20-day moving average, the green line is the 50-day moving average, and the blue line is the 200-day moving average. Well, on May 21st, we had a bearish cross of the 20 and 50-day moving averages, where the 20-day crossed below the 50-day. That was 1 month ago. Second, we had this 20-day cross the 200-day moving average on May 30th, roughly 9 days after the first cross. And where we're at now is the dreaded death cross, which could happen when the 50-day moving average also crosses the 200-day moving average. So in other words, our chart will be 100% bearish if that occurs. So if you're following at home, the market is not going to turn around until the red line is on top, the green line is in the middle, and the blue line is well below the other two lines at the bottom. This is how it's been for the past year. It recently changed, okay? Now, the second thing that stands out to me is the outflow of money. So this is evidenced by the red wave in the market cipher from Bitcoin. So you can see where the green wave, we had a significant inflow of money that peaked around the 8th of January when Bitcoin was just around 42,000. So it's trended down since then. Currently, we are in a red wave, meaning the money has flowed out of Bitcoin. Next, just look at the volume. So in order for Bitcoin to run, it needs volume, plain and simple. The chart had past buying spikes from basically mid-December all the way through February, as you can see by the green spikes in the volume chart, but hasn't recorded any since. Now, what we have had are multiple selling spikes as evidenced by the red spikes. So that's the chart. Now, what else is dragging us down? Well, so we have more China FUD. So as I posted on June 10th, a lot of people like to claim basically how great Bitcoin is because it's decentralized. And yes, this is true, but the mining, unfortunately, is not decentralized. It is predominantly centralized in China, all right? So this, my friends, is what we call a problem. So now that China has instituted a Bitcoin mining ban, much of the mining is offline, as it's logistically now it has to leave China, all of the equipment, all the mining rigs, and go elsewhere to other countries, to greener pastures, to greener energy. Now, this post mentioned just yesterday, this is June 20th, by Holger, the maker of the rainbow chart, who I've talked about before, shows that 50% of all mining hardware was offline. So, in other words, the China FUD is just what the chart needed to hopefully cause the death cross, right? All these things sort of add up. Now, why exactly China is doing this is most likely we've got two reasons. So number one, and I mentioned this before, that they're a communist state that manipulates its currency to have trading advantages. We know that, okay? And when it comes to Bitcoin, they can't control it. So they need a currency that they can control. Bitcoin is one that they can't control. So why would they want Bitcoin? Well, the answer is they wouldn't, all right? Now, number two here is that China is promoting their own CBDC. This is their central bank digital currency known as the digital yuan for precisely the reasons I just outlined, right? So really, the shutting down of crypto in China makes sense so that they can continue business as usual and continue to manipulate their currency, all right? Now, rumors of Plan B's stock-to-flow model being broken. So for those who don't know, and I already did a video on stock-to-flow, Plan B created the stock-to-flow model, which views Bitcoin as a commodity because of the supply is finite, and we know when the halving will occur. We have a schedule. Now, because of that historical information, Plan B created the stock-to-flow model, which predicts Bitcoin's future price. Now, I'm a believer in historical data, but I'm also a believer that Plan B is not a psychic and that the stock-to-flow can't possibly account for absolutely everything, such as the China FUD. And I would say that also with many of the price predictions I've done on this channel. They're based on historical data, but you can't account for everything, okay? So ultimately, is the model broken? No, I don't think it is. But when this cycle is done, may it need to be updated? It probably will. Yeah, that'll probably happen. Now, we should all be thankful to have somebody like Plan B in the space in the first place because he has put a significant amount of time analyzing the data and putting it out there in a way that we can all understand. So you need to give him credit for that. Now, this is another piece of FUD. I'm not sure if anyone saw this. We even had the beloved Doge NASCAR crash into the wall. So that happened just recently. So sorry to make light of that, but the Doge NASCAR hit the wall. So where does the market stand then? Well, first off, Bitcoin was just accepted for the first time as legal tender in the country of El Salvador, meaning that it can be used to settle public or private debts or meet a financial obligation, including tax payments, contracts, legal fines, or damages, all right? Now, additional countries in that same general area that are also looking into accepting Bitcoin as legal tender include Argentina, Brazil, Panama, and Paraguay, okay? Now, really, it makes a lot of sense in countries all over the world where the majority of the population don't have bank accounts, but they do have cell phones, okay? It's also a hedge against hyperinflation that occurs regularly in many of these countries. And we're not just talking South America. We're talking into Asia, Africa, and elsewhere, all right? Next, we have Michael Saylor selling basically anything he can in order to buy more Bitcoin. I think he's shaken out everything. He's turned over every couch, sofa, cushion, to basically get as much money as he can to buy Bitcoin and to keep buying Bitcoin. So if it isn't bullish that MicroStrategy just purchased 13,005 more Bitcoin, adding to their total of 105,085 Bitcoin, then I don't know what is, all right? He's doubling, tripling down, and for good reason. He knows what he's doing, okay? Now, outside of Bitcoin, in the not too distant future, obviously later this year, we've got big updates coming for Ethereum. We've got big updates for Cardano. We got big updates for Polkadot. Some of the main players in the space all have huge updates coming later this year. In fact, we have so much happening in crypto, it's almost laughable that the markets are in the toilet right now. It's just crazy, but this is how crypto works, right? So where does that leave us? Well, I think it hinges most importantly, as I mentioned earlier, on the averages. So how important is the death cross anyways? The answer is it's not very important. So it's a lagging indicator, as you may have heard out there if you're following this, meaning it's based on past information, not a future predictor. So if it happens, it's a great rallying call for the whales to tank the market, okay? But really it doesn't mean a whole lot. What you can do is not buy what they're selling. Now, if we can get those averages to turn around, and then we're off to the races, all right? So the longer they stay bearish, though, this increases the probability that they mess up the stock to flow chart. That could happen, okay? It's possible. That could happen. Now, number two, environmental concerns need to be solved and promoted that they're being solved. We need that to happen. Remember when everybody loved Elon, then everybody hated Elon? Well, at least he brought to light the environmental concern issue, right? So we need miners telling the masses about how they're harnessing green energy. We need this to happen, and we need it on a regular basis. So I actually posted about this on Twitter, that crypto as an entire industry really needs a PR arm that's a nonprofit, where we basically have all of the biggest leaders in the crypto space come together and basically create a non-profit entity that can promote on a regular basis and frame all of the good things that the industry is doing, okay? We don't have that right now. So it doesn't exist. So what do we get? Well, basically, right now we have anyone with an opinion, essentially, telling you how they view crypto. And that doesn't work, all right? You can't just think that good work speaks for itself. You actually have to promote that on a regular basis, right? Now, it's also exactly how misinformation is easily created and spread with a false narrative. We get that on a regular basis through Janet Yellen and some of these people that talk about crypto and money laundering. That's all FUD. There's a significant more amount of money laundering that happens with regular currencies, okay? So that's kind of a non-issue. Now, it also didn't help, and I'm just going to make a joke out of this, that Peter McCormick, if anyone who doesn't know who he is, he's a podcaster, he's got a Twitter account, actually met with the president of El Salvador to talk about Bitcoin. Unfortunately, he was dressed like he was going to a rock concert, as seen here in this photo. Come on, man, you know? Yeah. So currently now, the closest thing the industry has to this PR wing that I'm talking about that we need is Michael Saylor. But he can't do it all. So he's out there every day beating the drum, telling everybody exactly all the good things. But we need more than Michael Saylor, all right? Third, we need some headlines that the miners are back online and in new locales. So the market needs to know the lights are back on. Institutions need to know the lights are back on. Countries looking at Bitcoin as legal tender need to know that the lights are back on. So this would resonate in overall market confidence if the lights come back on, okay? Currently, it sounds like they're off in quite a few mining rigs. So, is the bull run over? Well, the chart is definitely bearish, but is it over? I'm not entirely convinced. So, where we're at doesn't follow any historical precedent for Bitcoin market cycles. That's a fact. What we're left with is basically two opposing views. So we have those who are bearish based on the present chart, and I do follow a lot of these people on Twitter, and some of them make some compelling arguments. And then we have those who are bullish based on historical data, which is the camp that I fall into, okay? Now, my guess is correcting the averages could happen as early as July. That could definitely happen. Shoot, for all we know, it could happen in a week, few weeks. But I'm thinking somewhere around July, maybe August if it gets dragged out even further. But I'm kind of feeling July. Now, we really need to keep an eye on, this is the most important thing, the money flow in the market cipher. That will be one of the clearest indicators of where the money's flowing. If the money starts flowing back into Bitcoin, there you have it, okay? That's when we know this thing's back on. So in the meantime, do I stand on my predictions? Yes. I do, okay? You know, I have some of these coins that I've reviewed gone down from where I reviewed them. Yes, they have. So here's some examples. Ocean's gone way down. Anchor's gone way down. BTT went down. Luna went down, just to name a few of them. The whole market went down. So are they now suddenly bad projects? No, they're not, okay? Does the current market present a massive opportunity? Yes, it does. So I wanted to tell a story here that back in 2008, I was actually on vacation with some friends of mine, and one of my friends was really big into the stock market at the time. So this was before Twitter, before crypto. And so at the time, the stock market went below 8,000. Everybody thought it was going to crash. He came running out of the apartment that we were staying at and proclaimed to the masses that he was going all in on the stock market. That was at 2008 at the bottom. Obviously, he did pretty well in the years moving forward, okay? So the bottom line is that I'll keep buying, just like Michael Saylor keeps buying. And if just because the market is down, you want to bet against the greatest performing asset of all time in Bitcoin that historically returns 200% a year, that's on you, all right? So that's it for today's video. Hope it's a little clearer. That's what's going on in the market. That's when I think it'll turn around. Hopefully July, we got a turnaround. That's my birthday month, so hey, why not, right? So if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit the like button. As always, check me out on Twitter at KIR Finance, where you can find me tweeting and retweeting. I'm on there on a regular basis. And for a friendly reminder, this is Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance, the channel that always has your back, tells it like it is. And I will see you on the next one. Later.